Where do I begin? Because, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to unpack from the house. Yes. Last night, after the party, there was a lot of conversations here and there, and I made sure I captured every single one of them because they were all equally important. And I have to spill it all. So let me warn you ahead. This video might be a bit too lengthy, but don't fret, don't worry, all right? I'm going to try as much as possible to summarize all of these conversations, all right? For some of them, I'm going to be taking a bit of time to analyze, all right? But for others, I just might have to breeze through them because I do not want this video to be too lengthy, all right? But if it turns out that this video might not be able to contain everything, then I might have to do a part 2 video of the conversations that happened last night after the party, all right? But before we get into those conversations, ladies and gentlemen, come closer. Can we just take a moment to appreciate Wani and Handy, and more importantly, DJ Flo? Ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness. Listen, yeah, I haven't partied in a long time. I haven't gone clubbing in a very, very long time. But last night, oh my goodness, DJ Flo literally turned my whole apartment into a clubhouse. Guys, I was vibing. I'm sure my neighbors would have probably been seeing me from their own windows because I was literally like, hey, yo, what's up? Hey, like, guys, it was insane. Like, this is the first time ever that I will be experiencing both Wani and Andy and DJ Flo in their DJing element. Like, these girls, they were fantastic, especially DJ Flo. DJ Flo did it for me. No caps. I mean, Wani and Handy, they tried, all right? They tried. I think their own performance was more of the vibing thing, you know. I think the way they engage with their own crowd is by dancing and doing choreographies. But when you talk about a DJ that came prepared to give the people a great time, to give us proper hit tracks that will make us forget all our sorrows, that will make us forget about all the hardship of this country, that will give us such a fantastic time. Oh my goodness. DJ Flo did it for me, 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, I am giving DJ Flo free adverts. Go and book her. If you have a party, book her. Trust me, you shall not regret it because, when she was saying it during her season that she's a DJ, I did not take her serious because I'm thinking, I'm going to have to watch you, perform. I'm going to have to experience you first before I believe you. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks to Big Brother, thanks to production for allowing us to experience DJ Flo, because the flow was flowing. The DJ was DJing, the vibe was vibing, everything was giving. It was amazing. It was a fantastic experience, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I really did. And I would love to know if you also enjoyed yourself. So let me know your ratings, for DJ Flo's performance in the comment section below. Now, quickly moving on to the conversations that happened right after the party. Ladies and gentlemen, the first was between Dede and Jason J. Yeah, so they finally had a sit-down conversation. Now, prior to their conversation, in the party room, Jason J was moving funny around Dede. Yeah, anytime Dede is in front of a particular mirror, Jason J would dance with other people, and then he would just dance around and go in front of her or go beside her. At some point, he had come in front of Dede, and Dede was still behind because she's not going to switch positions because of him anyways, So she was still standing behind him and just focusing on the mirror and herself. And then Sultana came to come and stand beside Dede and was dancing. So the whole thing looked so funny because it was like Jason J and his 2 wives behind him. That's why I was laughing so hard. Because the 2 girls don't really vibe. So they were not particularly exchanging pleasantries or anything. No, everybody is just minding their business. And later on, I think Dede left, or is it Jason that left, or I think Sultana that faced the other side, because they kind of got tired of the awkward situation. Yeah, but the party was explosive. Yeah, and everybody had a mad time. Yes, but back to this conversation now between Dede and Jason J. We did not start the conversation with them, right? So I want to presume that they already started. And it was kind of getting a bit emotional in the sense that Jason J was kind of blaming Dede for certain things, and Dede was setting him straight, like, no, this is what you did, this is what you did. Now, if you've been following up on Jason's conversations with certain people that were in his corner, you would have heard him tell those people that when Dede had heard that he had kissed Sultana, that she had been upset about the kiss. But I remember that particular conversation. Dede had told him that she wasn't angry that he had kissed Sultana, that she was angry that he was always checkmating her on the people that she spoke to, on the people that she spent time with, on how long she spent time with certain guys in the house in conversations. But now he's the one that is going ahead to go and kiss people. So what's the double standard about? That has always been Dede's issue with that particular situation, you know. So Jason was repeating it again in their conversation last night, and she had to set him straight that no, please don't quote me wrong anywhere. I do not care if you kissed Sultana or not, and I was not upset about it. This was exactly what I was upset about, and I told you, and you said you understood. Now Jason was saying that, oh, but you ended our friendship, and she said, I never did. I only told you that I do not want to be a part of your triangle with Sultana because this girl peed in my box. And for me, she offended me. So why should I be tagging along? Oh, you don't want me to talk to other guys. You want to be the only one I talk to. But then you are still with this person that actually did XYZ with my box. It doesn't really make sense. So according to Dede, what she told Jason J was, listen, I'm not going to be spending so much time with you anymore. Like we can't be doing that now that you're in a situation with Sultana. So it doesn't look like I'm trying to, you know, fight for attention with her. So Jason sat down, listened to her, and then he understood where she was coming from. And then that was when he now piped down and was saying that, okay, I understand where you're coming from, you know. So the conversation went on, and then the cameras moved away from them. But later on, when the cameras went back to them, what we heard was Dede encouraging Jason J. So apparently, Jason J had opened up to her at that point in time that this week had been a total mess for him, that he had been acting out of character. For those of you who have been watching, you would have noticed that Jason J started smoking. He started drinking a lot, you know, during the parties, and, you know, the way he would dance, like he was just literally overdoing things. And then the whole kissing with Sultana, the things they do beneath the sheets, you know. So according to him, he had been doing a lot. So Dede was just advising him that, listen, it's okay that you were in your feelings. It's okay that you were crashing out. But now that you've realized that you had this crash out, you were literally on vacation, you were on a break. So now it's time for you to wrap it up, come back to reality, and put yourself in the game. And what she said was absolutely right, because if you notice, in all the tasks and activities that the housemates had this week, Jason J had been kind of slow. He's been kind of laid back about it, not really showing interest. It was more like he clocked out of the house, of the game. And he actually said this in a conversation to Mide some days ago, that whole situation had hurt him so much. Even the fish statement from Dede that Ebuka exposed, you know, that the house had become too small for him. He felt like a caged animal because he needed somewhere to let out his frustrations, but there was no way, you know, so he was kind of restless. He was not happy. And yeah, so the whole week had just been a mess for him. So Dede was advising him and encouraging him that, listen, he can't continue beating himself and continue disgracing his people at home, as he had said. So he needs to snap out of his misery and bring back his competitive spirit, because that is what people know him for. You know, because all through the entire week, fellow housemates had been shying away from choosing or nominating Jason J for tasks or activities because they perceived and they noticed that his mind was no longer in the house or the game. So she was just basically encouraging him. And guys, it was such a beautiful moment between both of them, because Jason J was listening. And once again, it kind of reminded me of the initial stage of their friendship, where they both felt very safe in each other's company, where they will have very interesting, light-hearted conversations without things getting unnecessarily messy or too deep. Yeah. So that was the conversation they had. And I'm going to be frank with all of you. I don't know if they entirely resolved the conflict between both of them. I don't know. But later on, when Dede had a fight with Big Soso, Jason J had ran to go and check up on her later on to know how she was doing. Yeah. So I don't know how they ended their conversation. I don't know. Now, on to the next conversation. This one was between Mide and Bright. And ladies and gentlemen, it was quite funny. Yeah, it was funny, but also interesting to listen to. So, yesterday afternoon, Dede had introduced a game to the house. It was all about picking a bedmate for every night come next week, right? I was meant to do another video where I would explain all of these things properly and give a proper analysis. And I think I'm still going to do that. But just to give you a surface info, she's introducing a game. It's going to happen next week, right? Housemates are going to be picking bedmates, right? So a lot of the housemates wants to be a part of the game. They want to be a part of it. They're excited for it because according to Dede and according to other housemates, they believe it's going to foster more sort of unity in the house, and it's going to help everybody to understand everybody to some extent, because there are still some people that have never had conversations in the house. There are still some people that don't really know their fellow housemates like that. So they want to get to know each other better. So everybody was kind of, okay, not everybody, but most of the housemates were kind of applauding Dede for the idea as a great idea. Now, Mide says she wants to be a part of it. In fact, she was the first person that Dede had actually confided in about her idea. And Mide was so proud of her, was even encouraging her that after the show, she needs to start up her own gaming company or something like that. So Mide said she wants to be a part of it, but Bright does not want to be a part of it. So in that conversation, Mide was trying to convince Bright, telling him that they needed to be a part of the game because it will help them to test their relationship, to test the strength of their relationship. Now, according to Bright, he doesn't want to be tested. He doesn't want Mide to test him at all. That what if he is drunk? That doesn't want a situation where he's going to have another girl in his bed. He doesn't want to sleep in any other girl's bed. He doesn't want to have any other girl in his bed. He just wants to be with Mide, and he's fine with that. Now, Mide was saying that she understands, but she wants to test his self-control. Guys, see, yeah, this was the part where I started laughing, because it's like trouble is asleep, and then you, busybody, you're going to go and wake it up. I mean, guys, it got me wondering, like, girl, are you not okay with the state of your relationship with this guy? Why do you want to test his self-control? What if he does not have self-control? Okay, what if he picks a girl? Because she was saying that, oh, pick someone like Thelma, pick somebody else. I will not be angry. I just want to see your self-control. I just want to test our relationship. And the guy was like, I will not do that. Like, Bright was really standing on business. He said, I'm not going to do it. She was now telling him. So she was now telling him that, okay, if you're not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. But I just want us to test our relationship. But the guy was still adamant. He said he wasn't going to do it. And guys, it made me wonder that, okay, Mide, what is your agenda here? Now, I know what her agenda is. In a conversation she was having with Dede, she had said that she does not want their relationship to be boring. That she wants a situation where there's drama in their relationship, where both of them, they are fighting for each other. That kind of thing is going to spice up their relationship. That she doesn't like all this every time they are together, every time they are kissing, every time they are talking, that it is boring for her. I say, no wonder. And I'm going to be frank with all of you. I totally agree with Mide, because you all know that I don't like ships. But the only thing that's going to make me like a ship is if it is chaotic, is if it is scandalous. Any ship that is too peaceful in Big Brother's house is a no shipping for me. I wouldn't like such a ship. So the fact that she understands the assignment and she wants to bring us excitement and content, like viral content from a ship, guys, I am all for it. But then Bright says he doesn't want to be a part of it. So I'm just waiting here to see, come next week, if he's going to finally agree to her terms or not. Now, this next conversation was kind of hilarious. It was between Kola and Gigi Jasmine, yeah? So I told you all on my previous video that Kola had been walking around all day yesterday like a sick puppy. Yeah, a lovesick puppy. Yeah, better put. He had been walking around telling people, he's not feeling fine. It's because of Dede. Yeah. So, after the party, he was acting downcast. In fact, before the party, he had expressed his grievances towards Dede to Gigi Jasmine. And Gigi had told him that during the party, they will stick together, they will dance together, they will have fun together. So Kola has brought back his diary session accent into the house. You know, he and Dede, they were talking in accents the whole of yesterday. So after the party, they were having a conversation in the room, the bedroom, and Kola had said, oh, that he's going home tomorrow, that he knows he's going home tomorrow. And Gigi was consoling him that, no, you're not going anywhere. You're a vital part of this house. You're not going anywhere. You know what? We should pray about it. And Kola said, you should pray about it. Okay, because Gigi said we should pray about it, that Motega and I, we used to pray about things like this. Kola said, you pray about it. That was how people prayed about it, and Motega went home. I said, oh boy, yeah. Kola does not want to go, because even if it's me too, like carry your prayer and go far. I don't want your prayer, girl. I don't want. Well, anyways, aside that one, there was also the conversation between Imisi and what's his name now, K-Bobo. So apparently they've reconciled, they've resolved their differences, so they are good now. You know, they are back to being friends, talking and laughing together. So they were in the kitchen and they were just making jokes, and that was when Imisi looked at K-Bobo and asked him, how would you feel if you come out of the house and you discover that the perception you have about me inside the house is different from what it is about me on the outside? And K-Bobo was still laughing, because for him, it wasn't a serious question. So he was like, what do you mean? Well, I don't particularly think you are such a bad person. I'm still trying to get to know you. And she said, well, it will shock you when you get outside. You realize that I have not really been a good person. There's actually a lot about me that you don't know. So she was kind of codedly trying to tell him that she's been acting, but the guy was not clocking what she was saying, because you see, yeah, after the party, everybody was in high spirits, right? So people's minds were not immediately rushing to the negative in conversations, and so that was the same thing with K-Bobo. The guy was not clocking what Imisi was saying, and she was actually serious when she was telling him these things. So guys, I was just looking at this girl and say, yeah, okay, oh, we shall see. You see, I started getting excited at the thought of it all, because I cannot wait to see the housemates' reaction, maybe on social media or probably, I don't know, anyhow, right? I can't wait to see their reaction when they find out that, okay, this person is not who they seem to be, or that person was never who they portrayed themselves to be. It's going to be very, very interesting. Now, moving on, there was a conversation between Joanna and Victory. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you that that was no conversation at all, because Joanna was really high. Yeah. A lot of the housemates were high on alcohol. Joanna was so high to the point that it felt like her eyes were rolling up in her head, and it felt like she couldn't really see clearly. She couldn't keep her eyes open. And it was kind of annoying to me, because Victory was still trying to have a conversation with her, but he could see clearly that she was not herself. And right there in the lounge, her head was rolling like this, and she was still saying, are you okay? Are you okay? Do you want me to go? Is it that this is the wrong time to have a conversation? And she was like this. But it wasn't like she wasn't in the right frame of mind. She was. But what I was expecting Victory to do at that point in time was to ask her more concerning questions, like, oh, do you want to go and throw up? Are you okay? Do you want to go and sleep? Instead, he was more interested in that stupid triangle conversation he wants to have with her. But then I love the fact that before she left his presence, she had expressed her frustrations to him, that she doesn't have anybody to talk to in this house. She doesn't really have friends. But then the one person that she thought she had in a corner likes her, because this person has refused to not to stop liking her. The person likes her, you know. And I totally understand where she was coming from, because if you all recall, some weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, when Victory had expressed his sentiments towards her, and Rude Boy had also done the same thing. She had mentioned to both of them in a conversation in the garden, in fact, by the poolside, that she was not interested in getting into a relationship, because she loves and enjoys her individuality in the house. She does not want to align with anybody in a ship or triangle or anything of such. But then unfortunately, Victory is still telling people that he likes her. So it's now creating an impression that she's in a relationship with him, but she's just playing hard to get. The same thing Kola is doing to Dede, and it's really frustrating her. Anyways, next conversation, this one was between Imisi and Sultana. Imisi was telling Sultana that during the party, she noticed Jason J moving to Dede a lot, and now they're having a conversation outside. And Sultana was like, and that she noticed too, she saw them, but she's not the type of person that's going to go and query Jason J to say, oh, stop talking to this person, because for her, it's helping her to grow some sort of immunity towards Jason J. And before we know it, she's going to stop feeling whatever she's feeling for the guy. Now, Imisi had said something. She had said Jason J is a smallie, that Sultana should not even think about it, because outside the house, there are going to be a lot of fine men that are going to be chasing after Sultana. That outside, Jason J is a smallie, like he's nothing. So she's not even bother herself. And Sultana was like, that she knows now that she's not even bothered. She knows what's up. So whatever, let him just have his time, do whatever he wants to do. She's not going to complain about anything. I said, okay, we shall see how that goes, because you and I know that so long as it is Dede that is involved, Sultana would never let it go. And instead of her to attack Jason J or have a conversation with him, she would rather go through the corners and be attacking Dede. So I don't know if she went to go and tell Big Soso and that made Big Soso to go and attack Dede. I don't know. But she seemed so satisfied when that whole thing happened. So guys, I don't know, what do you think? Finally, there was the conversation between Big Soso and Mide and Koyin, and then, you know, the whole thing that led to that altercation with Dede. There's no point talking about it here because I already did a video about it. So if you missed out on that video, please go ahead and check, all right? And this is where I'm going to stop talking. I'm quite happy that I've actually covered as much as I can. There was a conversation between Gigi Jasmine and Jason J. I'm going to check if there's anything worthy of talking about in there, all right? But in the meantime, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there was also another conversation between Mide and Kola. I do not have the full information yet. I have to go and check my archives, all right? So whatever it is, if there's a need to make another video about it, I will make another video about it, all right? But in the meantime, that is all for this particular episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. Thanks for watching and have an amazing day.